Welcome back to First Stage right here on ET Now, and let's understand what's really happening within the metal pack. And for that, we've been joined by Arun Misra, Executive Director of Vedanta, on the show. A very good morning and thank you so much for your time. And firstly, let me start with the GST bonanza, because we understand that there will be no direct benefit. But if consumption rises and if we see auto demand picking up and economic growth across the board, how much demand uptake are you expecting out of that? It's indeed expected to be on the positive side, but what's your sense on the growth front and any numbers to put for that as well?
No, of course, because the GST on many of the items, many of the important consumption items reduced from 18%, 12% to 5%, will surely boost up consumption. And of course, if consumption boosts up, we are into products, we are in, like auto sector growth will obviously mean more galvanization and hence more zinc, or aluminium alloy wheels means more domestic aluminium consumption, value-added aluminium consumption and things like that. It will always be beneficial to a resource company like ours. And we believe that the growth rate with this should reach double-digit figures very soon.
Right. Arun, what about the entire tariff saga? How is it that you see that disrupting global trade flow of commodities?
So it has impacted global trade flow for sure. We are yet to assess the cascading impact. Direct impact, we are not much, because of all our businesses only in aluminium, we do about hardly 3% or 2% of the total revenue by export to US. So we are not impacted as much, and we are primarily a domestic player and we want to remain so. And fortunately, Indian domestic demand, government's expenditure in infrastructures, government's ease of doing business, looking at GST reforms, mining reforms, all are pointing towards very robust growth in India, and hence we will remain mostly domestic player. Otherwise, it is not impacting much. What we have to watch out for, because of this tariff regime, will that be an impact of shipping, logistics across the globe? But that's not yet impacted any of our operations.
Right. And Mr. Misra, also give us a sense on what is happening with your demerger. A lot of buzz on that front. Now, it's been 2 years since it was announced, and now the next NCLT hearing is scheduled on the 17th of this month. Help us understand what is the status of progress so far.
No, the progress is on track, and it's a regulatory approval. We believe that it is just a matter of time. More than 95% of the creditors have already okayed it. The whole market is waiting for it, and all of us understand that once we become pure play format, the valuation will rise and everybody stands to gain. So it's just a matter of time. Yes, regulatory approvals do take their own time. Maybe some amount of hearings and clarifications will go on. Otherwise, we are very, very sure we are internally prepared, organization structure-wise, governance process-wise, everything is in place. It's just now a matter of time. I think we are almost at the finishing line of the race.
Okay, the finishing line of the race, Mr. Misra, but Petroleum Ministry and other government bodies, I believe, had raised objections to this. Can you tell us who all raised objections? What were these objections, the rationale behind them?
No, there are, in our opinion, these are all matter of procedures, so don't be too worried about it. These are all part of the game itself. So it will happen, everybody has the right to seek more clarification on some issue or other. We don't see it beyond that, and we are very confident that ultimately everything will fall in place.
Right. So, Mr. Misra, by when do you realistically expect the demerger to be completed? Because the deadline for completing this demerger was extended to the end of this month. Are you going to be seeking a further extension on this deadline?
If we were to do it, it should have been done yesterday. But otherwise, there are so many regulatory pieces have to be put together. I'm sure this year is the year when we will finally see, before the year ends, demerged entities, and by next year we would have new entities being listed, and people, the share transactions happening and all that should be next year. Otherwise, by this year end, I'm sure this final announcement will be in place.
And what about Vedanta's Capex plan? Is the aluminium business on track to achieve 3.0 1 million tons of alumina. And what about the metal production targets for FY26 and 27?
Yes. All our expansion programs, whether it is in Lanjigarh, whether it is increasing smelting capacity, all are in place. And I'm sure the committed timelines which you have given in the analyst call earlier, all will be honored.
Right. You also secured 2 additional mining blocks for critical minerals, right, including nickel, chromium, cobalt, etc. And since there's a lot of buzz about REM, I understand that the gestation period for all critical minerals, including rare earth, is pretty long. But tell me, what's been the progress so far at your end, and when do you think it will fructify?
So there are many blocks, not only now, we had got earlier as well, whether it's the Bagmara and Thanavasne and many other blocks we had got maybe 5 years, 6 years, 7 years back. Of course, in this critical mineral mission of Government of India, we have secured some 5-6 blocks between Hindustan Zinc and Vedanta. We're spanning across metals like tungsten, potash and graphite and vanadium and then monazite. So yeah. So they are all new metals. Of course, when the auctions happen, the exploration levels are quite tentative. So we have to re-explore them, establish the reserve, which will take 2 to 3 years. My guess is in 5 years' time, you will hear more new metals being added to Vedanta as well as Hindustan Zinc's portfolio.
Right, sir. And Mr. Misra, let's talk about your debt scenario for Vedanta Resources. Your debt has decreased to $4.8 billion as of June this year, with, of course, your ongoing deleveraging efforts. Now, VRL is also committed to reducing its total debt to $3 billion by FY27. Help us understand if you are on track to achieve this target, and what will your total debt reduction target be for FY26?
No, current whatever has been commitment has been given to the market will be honored. So we are absolutely on target, and this is based on the business plan, the volume plan, the sales plan. All that is in place. Cash generations are happening the way we had thought. So little bit plus here, little bit minus there does not worry us. And fortunately, we see rise in gold prices, rise in silver prices, rise in zinc prices. I'm sure the aluminium prices and all. By the year end, you will find the prices going up, which is going to benefit us. So we are absolutely on course. As we always say, that deleveraging is our first priority, and it will be done.
All right, but along with that, Vedanta sold its stake in Hindustan Zinc over the last few months. Is that a part of a larger restructuring or just to generate some liquidity?
Well, it's always a well thought out plan, and you need to garner cash from all possible resources. Selling stake is one of the options to be exercised only when the situation is right, and we have other lucrative options are not in place, and hence it was done and for a very specific purpose. So that's a strategic choice, cannot be rolled out as a regularity, but surely will be done whenever the situation is right and when the management feels so.
But just to follow up there, so are you looking to reduce further stake in Hindustan Zinc?
As of now, there is no plan, but again, it's a question of deleveraging strategy, and right now we are on course on generating cash from our operations, so I don't think we'll have to resort to that.
Right. And given that Vedanta has Capex plans, tell me, how is it that you're looking to strike a balance between your cash position, debt reduction, Capex, and also dividend payout?
So see, first is the deleveraging plan is always in place, but that does not stop us from growing. So growth agenda is always driven by a very high return, very attractive projects, and the projects should be such that they should be able to more than pay up for the capital that they employ. Very fast, high return projects. The growth engine cannot be compromised just for deleveraging. Always the balance will be struck. Currently, the current operations will give us enough of muscle power to look at deleveraging, but also balance sheet is strong enough to do further growth. We have already announced growth in aluminium capacity. We have announced growth in zinc capacity. So all that also are a reality of the day.
And also, Mr. Misra, are there any concerns regarding recent Viceroy report? Any comments on that and any assurance you'd like to give the shareholders?
No, we don't have to give a specific assurance because you see the market prices. We are partly affected because shareholders know us for long and we have always remunerated shareholders handsomely through dividends and we have been very transparent. All our reports are in public domain. We are very, very open book culture. So what do we justify? Whom do we justify to? If you look at all our reports, they're all available online. You can look at them. Governance-wise, we are one of the. We produce our tax transparency report. All our annual reports are digital. It's all in public domain itself.
But with this, Mr. Misra, we let you go. Thank you so much for taking the time out and speaking with us this morning.